Hello. Here we are watching the rancher on trial. And sorry it's been a while, but I just been busy and like everybody else in life. So, let's see. They're going to be back 1:30 Arizona time. So maybe perhaps do a little recap and we can watch this from the beginning of the day and just kind of speed through it.
Cross circle in Keno Springs?
Yes, I do not, to be honest with you, I do not know the exact address, but it was a Vermilion Ranch.
Vermilion Mountain Ranch?
Correct.
Do you know the homeowner's name there?
I knew after the incident, but Mr. George Allen Kelly.
And that location is in Santa Cruz County?
That is correct.
Can you tell me on January 30th of 2023, before you got this call, what were you doing and where were you located?
Hello, Mommy.
I was located
I think this is the witness.
somewhere along Highway 82.
First talk to
I think
George
around the area of the
Kelly.
Circle K. Just prepping for that
Just
day.
kinda
I was
gonna
prepping to patrol the east side
forwarded
of
or
Duquesne Road,
well,
all that area.
speed through
And the
this.
Circle K you're referring to, is that
Until
the
they
one
get
in
back
Nogales?
lunch.
One in Nogales, Arizona by Highway 82.
I'm glad you're here.
And so is that the road that leads out to where Keno
Sorry,
Springs
you're
is
not going to
located?
see me
That
live
is correct. Further north
camera
should be
today. I am not
the road that
camera
takes you
ready.
to Keno Springs.
And so that would be northeast of where you were in Nogales, is that right?
Correct.
So what time were you dispatched to this call?
The call came in at approximately 2:40 p.m.
And when you received the call, what information did you have?
The information that came out through the radio was something to the effect that the owner of the Vermilion Ranch had
let's fast
reported
forward it.
that there were people shooting at him in his property.
We might be a
And did
little
you respond
annoying.
to the location
Sorry.
after you received that dispatch call?
Yes, I did.
And were you in a vehicle by yourself or did you have a partner in your vehicle?
I was in a vehicle by myself.
Do you know?
Okay, we speed through that. So let's see what he has to say. I know it's going to be annoying. I probably shouldn't have done that for people that wants to view my. Okay, I think this would be a good place to start.
Right before.
I do too. I feel very bad for this guy. He should never be on trial, in my opinion. Let's hope the jury thinks that too.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a seat. We resolved the issue. We're ready to go forward. Mr. Jetty, whenever you're ready.
Mr. Wisdom, I think I forgot to ask you, how big is your property?
Maybe 2,000 acres.
2,000. Do you have this big piece of property? Do you have any hands, any help?
I have friends that help me out.
Okay. That's for your 36 cows, great. 36 head graze is on your 2,000 acres.
Yes.
Let me ask you, do you patrol your area? Do you walk your 2,000 acres?
Yeah.
ATV, horseback?
I used to ride on horseback.
Do you go out on your property though, often?
Yes.
And do you carry any weapons when you go out?
No.
You don't carry any guns? Are you afraid?
I just don't take it.
Yeah, this is always a personal question, Mr. Wisdom, but can I just ask you how old you are?
70.
73. In your time, have you always owned that 2,000 acres? I mean,
I don't own it, I lease it,
lease it. And how long have you been in that area leasing 2,000 acres?
19 years.
19 years. So do you see a lot of people coming on your property?
No,
I'm talking about migrants from Mexico.
no. I used to.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Not so much anymore.
When did that stop? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. And when they came on your property, were you afraid?
I just go the other way.
Go the other way? Do you call in, you report it?
Pardon?
Do you report it, seeing people on your property?
I have
And you report that to which agency?
border patrol.
Border Patrol. Have you ever, have you ever used a weapon to scare anyone off your property?
No,
Why wouldn't you do that?
why would I?
Why wouldn't you?
Objection relevant.
Hello, CCW.
You lease property that is, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Okay. The property that you lease, is that at least some of it adjacent to Mr. Kelly's property?
yes,
And you've known Mr. Kelly and you've known him for a long time, right?
yes,
And you've known his wife Wanda for a long time also, right?
yes.
Okay. And does Mr. Kelly sometimes contact you to let you know that fences have been cut?
No, not usually.
Does he sometimes let you know that fences have been cut?
No,
He doesn't let you know about fences being cut?
no.
Okay. Have your fences ever been cut?
Oh, yes.
How frequently? Is that something that happens pretty often out there?
It used to happen more than it does now.
Okay. And when your fences do get cut, that can cause problems because your cattle can get out, right?
Right.
And then you have to go out and make repairs to your fences, correct?
Okay, we'll see you
And so it's
soon.
pretty standard for you to check on your fences pretty regularly.
Yeah, he's quiet. He's laid back.
Usually if
He's
I see
probably
some
old
cows
school.
out that are up there in the village, the Keno Springs, and I go check to see where they came to.
Okay. And it wouldn't be unusual for somebody, maybe who has a smaller piece of property, to go check on fences pretty regularly, right?
Yes,
To make sure that they haven't been cut, right?
right.
And I think we want to just make it clear, you don't live on this property that you're leasing, is that
No.
correct?
No.
So Mr. Kelly lives out there, right?
Yes,
You lease property that's adjacent to Mr. Kelly, right?
yes,
And you live somewhere else, right?
right.
Do you live near Keno Springs or more near Rio Rico?
Keno Springs,
Keno Springs, but near the Little Red Schoolhouse?
right.
Okay. Have you ever seen people on your property, illegal aliens on your property? That's something you've seen, correct?
Yes,
And I'm assuming most of the people you see probably don't have weapons, correct?
I've seen them with weapons.
Most of them probably don't, right?
Yeah,
You have seen people with weapons, correct?
yes,
How often have you seen people with weapons on your property?
several times.
Several times. How big of a group did you see on your property on those several times when you saw people with weapons?
How big of a what?
Of a group, how many people did you see?
Oh, it could be 3 to 10 to 12 people.
You've seen groups from 3 to 10 to 12 people on your property?
Yes.
And those groups that you've observed, you've seen some of those people to be carrying weapons?
Yes, I've seen weapons.
What kind of weapons did you see, if you
I
can
don't know
tell?
what they were.
Were they rifles or handguns?
Rifles,
Rifles? And you've seen that on at least 3 different occasions?
yes.
Okay. Did you observe anything else about these groups who
Uh,
were carrying?
Mommy, did you
rifles
see
on your
this?
property?
earlier?
No.
Were they carrying anything else?
What do you mean
they had
quiet?
backpacks.
Well, yeah, he is
Were
a
they
quiet,
large
soft-spoken man.
And were these men
Sorry.
in these groups that you observed?
Pardon me?
Men you saw in the groups?
Men?
Were they men?
Yes.
Okay.
I figured they were probably carrying drugs.
And why did you figure they were probably carrying drugs?
They wouldn't have no other reason to be going through there,
Right?
carrying that.
Were they wearing camouflage? Do you recall?
Can somebody check the court?
I've seen them camouflage,
The court.
most of the time dressed in black.
You normally see groups dressed in black when you see people
Oh,
carrying
no.
rifles.
They're not gonna be here
Could
until
you tell, and
1:30.
if you can't tell, let us know, but were you able to tell how many members in the group had rifles? Was it
I do
all of
too.
them, some of them?
I get
or
bored.
some different?
I don't think all of them were carrying rifles.
You don't think all of them carried rifles?
Like I said, if I saw them like that, I'd turn around and go with them.
Makes sense. Those groups, when you did have those several encounters that you're talking about, were you out by yourself on that property?
Yes,
In a vehicle or on foot or on horseback?
vehicle
Vehicle?
and on horse.
So.
I think it's a
on
neighbor
different occasions,
a
you've
neighbor
been there
rancher.
Either in a vehicle or on horseback.
He has a ranch
and
right
you've
next
seen
to
groups of armed
Kelly's
men.
That's what he said.
ranch.
Just ask another question.
When you say they're wearing black, were all members of the group wearing black to your recollection?
That I can remember was,
Okay. Did you report these instances to Border Patrol?
yes,
Those 3 instances you reported to Border Patrol? Do you recall how quickly Border Patrol was able to respond?
Okay, I'm gonna put me in here. Name me one rancher that would not have weapons on their property, especially when you are on a border of Mexico. Just saying, right? So what? What's the difference? They have they have guns, they have weapons on property. Back here in the Midwest, they have them on property because that's when they can go hunting when it's hunting season. Okay, carry on.
On
fairly quick,
how quick is fairly quickly?
within 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, so 10 to 20 minutes. Were they able to apprehend any of these people as far as you are aware?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Be direct.
The state is trying to make Kelly out to be some kind of a madman.
Mr. Rizzo, you talked about backpacks, you saw backpacks. How far back in time was that? How long ago?
It's been a couple of years.
A little while ago, right?
Yeah,
When we're talking about backpacks, are we talking about the ones that kids wear to school, or are we talking about a different size backpack?
bigger backpack.
God
Would you
forbid, wanting to
describe
protect your
what my backpack that looks like?
your
I'd say
God forbid, wanting to protect your property. No, let's not do that.
Pretty substantial. And you said the people that you saw with those kind of backpacks, and some of them had weapons. I think that was your testimony. They were all wearing black.
yes.
I didn't ask you this, but do you see Mr. Kelly in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Where is he sitting?
Over there.
Behind me, right behind me. Is he sitting at defense counsel table?
Yes.
Or can record reflect the witnesses identified Mr. Kelly? That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Any questions for this witness from any of the witnesses? Seeing none, will this witness be excused?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rizzo, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State cause, next witness.
State calls Deputy Monreal.
officer step up.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Thank you, Erin.
I've been doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Good morning. Could you please tell the jury your full name and spell your last name for the court reporter?
Good morning. My first name is David. Last name is Monreal, Monreal. Additional Fabian, Fabian.
And are you a deputy with the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Department?
Yes, I'm a deputy with the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. My badge number is 191.
And Deputy Monreal, how long have you been with the Sheriff's Department?
I've been employed with the Sheriff's Office for over 6 years.
And could you tell us, have you spent your whole career at the Sheriff's Department?
My whole career has been with the Sheriff's Department. It's been 5 years, consisted of a detention center. I did 5 years, and the year and a half approximately has been with the deputy side.
So you were a detention officer in our jail here for 5 years, and then for a year and a half, you've been a deputy.
Yes, correct.
Could you just tell the jury a little bit about your training and experience?
My training experience, when I started at detention, it was back in 2017, June 24th. I went to academy, which is Coda Academy Tucson, graduated from academy. And then spent those 5 years at the detention center where I was going to trainings, various trainings on how to deal with inmates, interact with people. Then was also a supervisor in the year of 2019. I became a corporal supervisor where I would have more training. I was sent to trainings where how to communicate with staff. Then after that, I became an interim sergeant for the year of 2021. After that, I went to the academy for the deputy patrol side. I went to the academy in 2022. I went to the academy of June 25th. July 25th of 2022, I went to the academy in Cochise County, where I graduated December 8th of 2022, where various trainings from defensive tactics, interacting with people, domestic violence, how to interact, how to talk. And from there, the training, when I graduated, I was placed in a 3-month training with the Sheriff's Office with different trainers where it became 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks, and then 2 weeks as well. I was trained by 3 different officers during the course when this incident happened.
Was your training complete, or were you still on training at the time of this incident?
I was still in training. It was my phase 3. It was phase 3 approximate. I was in the streets 7 to 8 weeks. I was still in training. 7 to 8.
And so on January 30th of 2023, who was your field training officer?
My field training officer was Deputy Arlette Cabrera, badge number 139.
And when you're on your field training, does that deputy, that field training officer, do they shadow you the whole time?
The whole time, she's always next to me. I cannot leave her side. If there's a call I'm responding to, she's next to me. I cannot leave her side. She's always there too.
And were you riding together in a vehicle?
Yes, we're riding together.
Now, on January 30th of 2023, did you and your field training officer get dispatched to a call?
Yes, we did.
And was that at 100 Willow Cross Circle?
Yes, correct.
Do you know what time you were dispatched to that call?
Call came out approximately 14:47 hours.
And what time is that in non-military regular people time?
2:47 p.m.
So you got dispatched at 2:47. Do you know where y'all were when you got dispatched?
We're here at the Sheriff's Office, 2170 North Congress Drive.
And when the call was dispatched,
there are calls that you go to that you turn on your lights and sirens, and then there are calls that you don't turn on your lights and sirens. Can you tell us what the difference is?
Right, so the difference is our dispatch could dispatch any call such as we need assistance, you keep the peace. Could be any call that is thrown over the radio, and we'll just respond normal traffic, driving normally. But when there is an emergency alert tone, it's an approximate 2 to 3 second sound, which is kind of, you can't forget that sound, little beep in the radio. And it makes me just, remain silent, listen to the radio, pay attention what they're gonna tell you and what's going on. Once we hear that and we know where we're going, we activate our lights and sirens. That's usually when we also drive over speed limit, just pay attention to traffic and what's going on and go to that emergency.
So was this a toned out call or was this a regular call?
It was a tone out call.
And so when you got the call, I'm assuming you turned on your lights and sirens and sped to the location, is that right?
That's correct.
All right. Were you driving or was Deputy Cabrera?
I was driving.
And when you got toned out to the call, how long do you think it took you to get out there to Keno Springs?
Do not recall, but approximately at least 20, 30 minutes from here from the sheriff's.
When you got there, what did you observe?
When I arrived there, what I observed first was 2 Border Patrol agents standing at the gate.
Were you and Deputy Cabrera the first Sheriff's Department officers to respond?
That's correct. Also, as well was Sergeant Julia Garcia, batch number 130, and as well Deputy Cristobal Castaneda, batch number 144.
Did they arrive at a similar time to you, or, were you together? How did that work out, if you remember?
They were right behind us.
Were there any other deputies other than the 4 of you?
No,
When the 4 of you arrived and you saw the Border Patrol agents, where were the Border Patrol agents stationed when you got there?
when I got there, they were right at the gate of the entrance of the residence.
Were they on the inside or outside?
They're outside.
Sorry to hear
the
that,
residence gate.
CCW.
So not on the property, just outside the property?
That's correct, outside the property.
Once you arrived and you saw them there, what did y'all do?
Once we arrived,
Glad you're
we-
here.
First of all, we came out of our units with our long rifles. All of our deputies had our AR rifles, which is issued by the county.
Why'd you have your rifles?
We had our rifles due to the fact the call came out that there were shots fired in the area. We were not knowing what was really going on other than shots fired in the area.
So anytime there's a shots fired call, that's how you're gonna respond with your rifles?
Yes.
Do you take those kind of calls seriously?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Do you get those calls a lot?
He just,
No.
no.
You don't get shots fired calls very often?
It's not very often since I've been out here.
And when you got out of the vehicle with the rifles, what'd you do with the Border Patrol agents?
I approached the Border Patrol agents and they briefed me a little bit of what was going on, what they knew about.
And after you had that briefing, what'd y'all do?
After we had that briefing, that's when we decided to try and search the area.
When you say search the area, what were you looking for?
We're looking at the point, at that time, we're looking for any threats and as well for Mr. Kelly, just the fact that Border Patrol agents.
Yes,
told us
please take care of
Yeah,
yourself,
searching
CCW.
for themselves.
You'll always be in my
So,
prayers.
There's something called a security sweep and then there's an actual search. Would you describe this as a security sweep or a search at this point?
It was a search, basically,
A search, what are you looking for?
just looking for any subjects that have weapons, because at the time, Border Patrol had told us there were armed subjects.
So isn't that what a security sweep is? Aren't you looking for
I
a
object to
danger?
And we were looking,
Let me ask it again. Sure. I'll ask it in a different way. A security sweep, what does a security sweep entail?
well, security sweep tells, basically look as much as we can, see where we're trying to look. We're not looking under every rock, basically, or moving every pebble we could find on the floor.
Okay, but what are you looking for?
We're looking for any threat, any immediate threat, since there were shots fired, we're looking for something.
Oh, well, you
So
should,
this,
oh,
this, um, what you refer to as a search,
thinking
were
of
you
you.
looking under every rock when you were doing this, what you refer to as a search?
We're looking as much where someone could hide or be or place themselves as a human being could hide behind or move around.
And were you looking for them for a reason?
We're looking for the reason of just shots fired and as the reason of they were possibly armed.
Okay,
That is a lot.
did you describe this in your report, in some way?
The search,
Yes,
I don't recall if I described it. I do believe I put a cursory search of the area.
cursory search? Is that how you would describe it, as a cursory search?
Yes.
Can you tell me, I'm gonna show you what's been admitted. As exhibit 114. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
This has already been admitted. Can we publish, Charlotte? Not coming up. Oh, it's over there, but just not up here? Okay, oh, good, all right. Sorry, I was waiting for that to come up on the TV screen over here, so pardon me. So. Can I go on? Thank you. So, can you tell us what we're looking at in States Exhibit 114?
This we're looking at a Google map picture from the residence.
And when you say the residence, is that the Kelly residence?
Yes, correct.
And I'm gonna zoom it in just a little bit.
Some coffee.
Do you see on this map the area where you came in through the gate?
Yes.
And can you show us, if you touch on the screen in the upper left-hand corner with that stylus that's in front of you, if you touch the upper right-hand corner, it'll give you a color. And then if you circle the area where the gates are located.
Playing here.
Just to the north of that area on the map, do you see a different, something in that area? Is it possible that the gates are a little bit further north?
Yes.
So if, let me just undo that, right? Can you circle now where the gates are located? What did you do when you chatted with Border Patrol? You said you were on the other side of the gates. How did you get into the property?
At that point, we then got off our vehicle and we opened the gate.
Okay, was the gate unlocked?
They had a chain.
And what did you do with the chain?
Just took it off, opened it, and opened the gate.
So was it just wrapped, the chain, or was it locked?
At that point, it didn't have a lock, it was just strapped on.
Okay. And so you opened the gate at that point. Did y'all drive in?
No, at that point, we just started walking in.
Okay. And when you walked in, what did y'all do?
We walked straight towards the residence through the road.
Okay. And so I see a dirt path on the map that's on the screen. Is that the dirt road you followed?
Yes, correct. It's gonna be this road.
And what did you do after you followed the dirt road? Where did y'all go?
Went towards back of the residence, towards this side, due to the fact we couldn't find a way with fencing. We're trying to wait to jump the fence or go under the fence.
So there was actually a fence behind the house
Yes, correct.
in that area where the magenta line is that you just drew? Okay. And what did you find as you walked along the fence line?
We were able to find, looked like a ladder that was placed to be able to jump the fence. Which was located behind this structure, so ladder should be located around this area.
And when you say a ladder, could you describe what that ladder structure was like over the barbed wire fence?
Okay, would you?
Just the ladder, by the 4 or 6 feet ladder that was
All right, well,
placed
we'll see you later.
top of the fence. Then it had another part going down on the other side.
So it's just two regular ladders along the fence line, or is it one ladder with two pieces? Do you recall?
Do not recall.
But it was a ladder on, somehow there was a ladder structure on each side of the fence?
Right.
And what did y'all do, were you all four together at this point?
At this point, since we were able to find that access to go over the fence, and all 4 went over the ladders. Over the fence.
And how large was the area that was fenced in that area? Do you recall?
Do not recall,
Did you search inside the fence line, or did you go outside that fence line?
but went outside the fence line. Once we jumped that ladder, we located another fence where we did have to go under the fence,
Okay, and so you actually went under the other
the
fence?
second fence.
Did y'all go together? Did you split up? What did you do when you were in this area?
Once we went under the second fence, we started to divide ourselves a little bit wider, try to divide and see what we could see. I did have to stay with Deputy Cabrera. I could not leave her side, so it was mostly 3 searching part.
So the two of you went one way and the other 2 deputies went off in other directions?
That's correct.
Do you know what direction you and Deputy Cabrera went?
Oh,
At this point, we went more
More of a tea.
to the east and then south, this way.
Do you recall if you came to a dirt road? Did you go as far as the dirt road?
Yes.
You did. Did you go past the dirt road? Or did
No.
you just go to the dirt road?
We went down to the wash that is located down here, in this area.
Okay,
Into the wash. After the wash, we hit this dirt road.
okay. And how did you get from where you were down to the wash?
Where we were, we just started walking east. to the search.
So you went east and then south? And do you know what the other deputies did? If you know.
Do not recall, they were to my left, so probably a little bit up more and around the same area.
They were to your left?
They were to my left, sorry.
Okay, so if you're walking east, then that would put them north of you?
A little bit, not very far away.
Okay. And so you think you all hiked around down to the wash? Did you all go that direction, or did they go different directions?
It was basically most of the same direction, just a little widespread of feet apart.
Okay. And then when you came down to the wash, did you discover anything?
No, did not discover anything.
What was the brush like? Do you remember?
It was medium sized, dry, probably knee high.
If anything had been laying in the brush or hiding in the brush, would you have seen it if you were not right on top of it?
So objection,
No, the point was, no, we're not searching really low.
You weren't searching low, but if someone had been hiding in it, would you have been able to see them?
No, honestly, no.
At any point, did you see any sign that there had been large groups of people through that area?
No,
Did you see any sign of anything?
not at the moment.
And then you said you hiked down into the wash. Did you see anything in the wash? And then you said you hiked over to the dirt road. Is that right?
Yes,
Is that like a driveway through the Kelly property?
it's like a 2-track driveway around the property.
And what did you do when you got to that driveway?
Once we went to the driveway, we decided to go back, myself, Deputy Cabrera, decided to go back to the residence, see if we could speak with Ms. Kelly, see if she had been in contact with Mr. Kelly, either telephone or he probably made it back to the residence.
And without telling us what she said, did y'all talk to Mrs. Kelly?
Yes,
Oh, well, a lot going on in your world, isn't there,
And
CCW?
then what did you do after you talked to Mrs. Kelly?
After we talked with Ms. Kelly, we then got back into our fully marked patrol unit, myself and Deputy Cabrera, and drove down to the two track we had.
Who else here saw that ripping of the paper?
And did you encounter anyone?
Once we drove down the two track, later on, we encountered Sergeant Yuya Garcia.
And did Sergeant Garcia tell you that she heard something?
Yes, Sergeant Yuya Garcia stated that she had her canine down the two track and to make herself drive down there to see if we could locate Mr. Kelly or the canines he was with at the time.
Sergeant Garcia was your supervisor on that occasion, is that right?
Yes, she was.
And so she directed you to head on down the driveway to see if you could find the dogs and Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
And did you do that?
Yes.
And what did you observe when you drove down the road?
When I started driving down the road, I then observed
That's
the
very
Border Patrol
annoying.
agents walking up the dirt road along with Mr. Kelly.
Did you see anything else with Mr. Kelly?
Mr. Kelly was carrying, well, he had his canines and then he also was carrying a long rifle on his right arm.
You said his canines, his dogs, how many dogs?
Yeah, that I recall, I remember one. I have two.
You just recall one dog?
Yes.
Okay. And you said he was carrying something else with him? What else
Yes.
was he carrying?
He was carrying a long rifle, an AK-47.
And how was he carrying that?
He was carrying by the stock, the back part of the weapon, and the muzzle was pointing behind him.
And I see you pointing to your right shoulder. Is that the way that he was carrying it, over his right shoulder?
Yes, correct.
And did you document in your report which arm he was carrying it on?
Do not recall if I documented which arm it was.
If I showed you a copy of your report, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Show me what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1.6. Is that a copy of your report?
Yes.
Could you take a look and see if that refreshes your recollection?
Don't forget to hit the like button because it warms my heart. Love you all.
He's right.
Okay. Has that refreshed your recollection?
Yes.
Did you document it?
Yes, I did.
And what did you document?
Documented the long rifle was on his right arm, right hand.
Did you note what the long arm was? Did you note
Thank
any details
you,
about it?
Mommy.
The details that really stand out to me was it had an approximate 3 or 4 in length inch flashlight with an orange button. It was on the right side of the firearm, long rifle by the barrel. It was, what really stands out to me was orange button and that it was being held with something that looked like black duct.
We are small,
Did you notice what kind of weapon
but
it
we
was?
have a lot
Noticed it was
to
appeared to be
offer
an
in a small
AK-47.
group.
Did you note anything about the stock
Every little
or
bit
the
does help.
grip?
The stock and the grip was a dark in color wood
Maybe someday I'll get bigger than 3
Trip.
people coming in.
handle and stock.
But right now,
Did you
I'm grateful that I
notice
have
anything
you
about the metal?
guys.
The metal you can see is
It's
worn
not the
out,
numbers,
light
it's the quality.
charcoal gray color.
Who's here? And all of you are special to me.
After you made those observations, did you
Just saying.
talk to Mr. Kelly while you were there on the road?
Yes,
And do you see Mr. Kelly here in the
Still
court?
watching.
yes.
Would you
I
describe
keep an
what
eye
he's
on
wearing where he's sitting for the court, please?
He's wearing a long sleeve, square blue, light blue shirt. He's wearing a Levi's jacket. Vest.
Before I move on from the weapon, did you know anything about whether the AK-47 had a strap or not?
Do not recall.
You don't remember?
I'm sorry. I'm just. Oh. I have cabin fever.
And when you chatted with Mr. Kelly, what is it that he told you happened that day?
He said that day when I spoke
Thank
to Mr.
you.
Kelly was that
Cece,
Yeah.
love you. Appreciate that.
heard a gunshot.
Did he tell you where he was, first of all?
He was standing by the kitchen island in his residence.
By his kitchen island?
Yes.
And what did he tell you he observed?
I have 4 people here.
Where did he observe
It's really awesome.
something
When he
through?
was standing by the kitchen island, he observed through his living room window. He had observed those 5 subjects, possibly wearing backpacks, camouflage, and possibly carrying rifles.
Did he tell you whether they were running or walking?
That they were running south, and he had also seen his horse was running back and forth in the strips.
So he said there were 5 subjects. He saw them from the kitchen through the living room window, and he saw 5 subjects running south. Does that accurately summarize that part of the statement you just told me?
Yes.
And then, did he say if he heard anything?
He did say he had heard 1 gunshot.
What did he say he saw when he heard the gunshot?
He saw all those subjects running south,
And did he see anything else with respect to his horse?
and his horse running back and forth, startled.
And did you indicate that he said his horse was in distress?
Yes.
Does that accurately summarize that part of Mr. Kelly's statement?
Yes.
What did he say he did after he made those observations?
After he made those observations, he stated he went to his front door where he has the AK-47, and he grabbed it and walked outside.
What did he say about the AK-47 and where he keeps it?
He then made the comment when he was grabbing the AK-47 of his baby's always by the door.
Okay, does that accurately summarize what Mr. Kelly told you?
Yes.
And you said that he went outside, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Did he tell you which door he exited?
The main, by the living room door, where the gun was.
So is that on the
It's gonna be on the
north side, the east side, south side?
south side of the residence.
So that house is sort of at an angle, right?
Right.
So the south side, is that also like southeast? The southeast patio door?
Yeah,
Let's go back to the map. So if this is north-south on the property.
I'm not mute.
let me zoom
Okay,
in.
thank you, CCW.
Can you point on with using the map? using
No, it
the
doesn't
pointer,
seem like he was hiding the
Which-
crime. How would he hide the crime
which
when he
side of
called him in the
house
first?
you believe that was?
Well, of course, they always do, but
Was
I don't
there a
know.
pergola out that
Talking about-
direction? Was there a pergola on the side of the area where you thought he came out of the house? Or was it the other side of the house? Do you know what a pergola is?
No.
Gazebo?
gazebo. Do not recall.
You don't remember? And so the area where you've just drawn the map, it looks like there's a wall around it, and that's where the front door is. Is that where you think he came out?
Yes.
You think he told you he came out the front door?
Correct.
And did he say what he did after he came outside?
After he came outside, he just stated he followed them with this.
And you said a minute ago that he saw the subjects, and what did he tell you they were, what did he tell you about what he observed?
He answered the subjects that
Oh,
they were wearing
that is
camouflage,
funny.
also backpacks, and some were carrying rifles.
Did he say they were carrying rifles or did he say they were something else?
They were carrying rifles.
And does your report document that they were carrying rifles or that he told you they were possibly carrying rifles?
The report does say I stated possibly,
And which is accurate?
possibly a second.
So he told you that he exited the residence, he saw the subjects and they were possibly carrying rifles.
Yes, correct.
And you said you also remember him saying that they were carrying backpacks, is that right?
Yes,
And did you say camouflage?
yes, correct.
Did you have information that somehow there were reports of shots fired?
All information of shots fired was the one when it came over the radio.
They got dispatched out that way?
Correct.
And so did you ask him about that?
Exactly.
Didn't ask him directly of the shots or
Exactly.
Did you ask him if the subject shot at him?
I did ask him what he had heard and what the shot, if they had shot at him. Correct.
And how did he respond?
He responded he did not know of what direction they were shooting or if they had met other cartel members and they were doing a shootout.
Okay, so let's stop with the direction first. He told you he didn't know what direction they shot, is that right?
That's correct.
So does that accurately summarize what he said to you?
Yes.
And then you said, he said something about a shootout. Can you tell me what that was about?
That's about, he didn't know if the reason why they were running or the shot was fired, if it was another rival cartel members had a conflict between each other.
Have you ever seen that happen in Keno Springs?
No.
And so he said he thought they encountered another cartel, and what did he say he thought happened?
He did believe that they were just cartel members, rivals that shot at each other and they just started running south.
And did he say that he thought they were scared from the shots?
Yes.
Does that accurately summarize what he told you?
Yes.
What did he tell you he did after he made those observations?
After I made those observations, that's when he just started try to follow the subject south with his canines.
And did he tell you how many canines or dogs he had with him?
Do not recall.
You don't remember if you documented that in your report?
Yeah.
If I showed you your report, would that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Is it still in front of you?
Yes.
Could you take a look?
Okay, they should be back from lunch shortly. But we all know how that works, right? They said they'll be here. It's 1:30 in Arizona, I believe. Let me double check on that as I say that. Yes, it's 1:31 in Arizona. It's 3:31 here in Iowa. So another hour? No, they should be because it's 1:30 in Arizona right now. So they should be coming back from lunch. But we are ahead of them. I don't know where you are. Mommy, are you east somewhere? Because it's 3:31 here. And according to Law and Crime, they're on lunch until 1:30 p.m., which they should be trickling in pretty soon, I think. Yeah, pretty much. I think this one's even worse. We say that all the time, don't we, you guys? So do you want to continue listening to this? Or what do you want to do, everyone? What do you want to do, everyone? The spatula is oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot of work. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Listen until they come back. All right. Good enough. Oh, I think they're coming back.
What did he say he observed?
Okay.
Yeah, so
I
he
think they're
didn't
back.
See him anymore.
Hold on.
He wasn't able to have visual of them. He stated they probably.
No, they're not. Yeah, they are. They're back. Just one moment, and I will
And the defendant, and
fix this.
we left off with the state witness.
Okay, here we go.
Your Honor, could Detective Ainsa approach and unseal the box?
It does sound like a good system.
Back on the stand, and when we're ready, we'll continue.
Okay, here we go, everyone. Those of you who just come in, please hit the like button because it warms my heart. Oh, she's pretty.
And Your Honor, for the
Yeah,
Detective Ainsa had sealed and is now unsealing again.
just when we were griping about it.
Exhibit 101. And I've instructed him regarding the court order.
Okay, we have an exhibit here.
Well, I think you were about to display the contents of the bag, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. With the court's permission, could you please show the witness the contents of the Ziploc bag? Deputy, could you tell us, do you recognize the items in the Ziploc bag and what's been admitted as Exhibit 101?
Yes, I do.
And what do those items appear to be?
The flashlight and the black duct tape that was located in the AK-47.
And when you saw it, if I understood your testimony earlier, the flashlight was affixed to the weapon as you see in the photograph with the black electrical tape, is that right?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. And with the court's permission, I'd like Detective Ainsa to show the witness Exhibit 102.
Is your number?
102.
Mhm.
Do you recognize the item in the box marked Exhibit 102?
Yes,
And how do you recognize that?
it was on the weapon.
And do you recognize it from the weapon that Mr. Kelly was carrying on January 30th?
Yes,
And is that the weapon that on January 31st you identified as the weapon he was carrying on January?
Oh, okay.
yes, it was.
Primarily for admission of State's Exhibit 102,
I'll have to-
which I believe
So I
is
see
the magazine.
mustache.
Does it also contain
Wow.
other items inside the weapon? Is it just the magazine?
It's just the magazine.
Just the magazine.
And the rounds.
Come on, dude. I want to see your mustache.
Okay. Are
I
those-
take this witness on board.
Yes.
I don't believe this person has knowledge that this is the same thing that came out again, so I'd like to make some
Oh,
So you can see the contents of this exhibit, correct?
Yes,
Did you personally take the rifle in your possession?
No, I never had it in my possession.
Okay, all you did was ID it back at the house.
Yes,
So you have no idea if this magazine is what came out of this rifle, correct?
correct.
Okay, and you have no idea that any of these bullets that might be from this magazine came from not only that magazine, but also from the rifle, correct?
That's correct.
And therefore I object, Your Honor, for no personal knowledge.
Deputy, did you see the magazine
What?
from out?
I'm just rolling the objection, then you can continue.
Sorry,
The objection is sustained, and you can try to later this.
Did you see the magazine from the outside of the weapon?
Yes, I did.
And does what's in State's Exhibit 102 appear to be consistent with what you observed outside the weapon?
Yes,
And did you see officers collect that, officers of the Criminal Investigation Division collect that evidence at the scene?
yes, I did.
And who did you see collect it?
It was Sergeant Flores, Detective Bunting, as well was there,
Okay,
Detective Ainsa.
okay, thank you. That's all, thank you.
More questions, Your Honor? Magazines are very common items, correct?
Yes, they are.
I mean, you can't look at one magazine and know for sure that it is the exact magazine of another.
Oh, hi, honey. Mom, I've been trying to reach you for days.
Okay, Mom.
Submitted with the detectives.
All right, so the objection is moved. Very well, thank you.
That's funny. That's a good point. Yeah, when they stand, that means they respect the courtroom.
I think we might have missed that. Did you pass the witness?
I did, Judge.
All right. All right, thank you, Mike. Ask the witness cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So you did some law enforcement work, but it was in the jail, correct?
Yes, correct.
Got some experience, moved up the ranks, and I assume you expressed an interest in wanting to learn how to do patrol, right?
Yes, I did.
Get out of the jail.
Yes,
And in order to do that, they sent you to the academy, correct?
yes, correct.
And you went to more than one?
So academy for, I guess, for deputy, it's just one academy for deputy.
Okay. And was that the last thing that you were describing or the first one that you were describing? You had different.
I don't
dates.
sleep
That
light.
was the last one I was describing.
Okay. So
I
that's
sleep
what
really
allowed
well.
you to get
I'm sorry.
certified in law enforcement to be able to perform police activities, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then you were going through different phases of probation, correct?
Correct.
And you broke it up into like 3 areas, 4
Correct, there's 4 phases.
phases. And you were on the last one?
I was in phase 3,
3.
one for the last.
Okay. So with that in mind, since leaving the academy and being out on January 30th on the ride along with your supervisor, how much time have you had a chance to do these ride alongs?
Your Honor, objection to the form. This assumes that he was on a ride-along, which is.
Do you understand what I mean by that?
I think you could ask a better question.
Okay.
Wasn't even clear whether.
When you're on thank you, Judge. When you're on probation, when I meant ride along is that you had to be supervised with a senior officer, right?
Yes, correct.
Senior deputy. And so when you're riding along, meaning you're in a vehicle with someone else that's supervising, correct?
Correct.
And you understood that, right?
Yes,
Okay. And so you, at this point in time, on January 30th, my question is, how long have you been out of the academy and started your probationary period riding along with other officers in each of the phases?
Since I graduated academy, I graduated December 8th of 2022. After that, to January 30th, it should have been approximately 7 to 8 weeks.
Okay. So to come up and tell the jurors that you've never seen things before, it's because you're new, right? There was some questions given by the state. Have you ever seen anything like this before, whether it's weapons or any type of activity that was dealing with, you know, transporting drugs and whatever the question was. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you answered no, you hadn't, but you were very brand new at this point in time, weren't you?
Back in January 30th, I was.
Yes. So you can't use your wealth of experience on the job to know for sure what the terrain is like out there, correct?
From that day, no.
I mean, you're learning every day as you go, right?
That's correct.
And you've got over another year under your belt, is that right?
Yes.
Since this incident. Okay, so, but this is good training and you learned a lot from this case, I would imagine.
Yes.
So when you get there, you're supposed to be in supervised distance with the person that's training you in this phase 3, right?
Yes, correct.
And again, who was that?
That was Arlette Cabrera, batch number 139.
Okay, you're good at badge numbers. You know everyone's badge number?
Majority, almost everybody.
That's pretty cool. Okay, but Cabrera.
Yes.
Okay. And so when you get there, in order to go out into this field to do this search, you had to know why or what you were looking for, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did anyone gather information first besides dispatch information that would make you to know what direction to start looking?
It was only Border Patrol, the ones we encountered there at the gate.
Okay. So they pointed you into what field or area that something someone saw something? I mean, why did you pick the location that you searched?
The location that we searched was due to the fact Border Patrol had advised us that Mr. Kelly had left his residence with his canine since his weapon and started to make his way south following the subjects.
Yes, sir. But the field that you searched was the east side and the direction that Mr. Kelly took was south.
Correct.
And south was also the direction of the 5 initial people that the Kelly saw was heading. So you didn't go south, did you?
We went south. We didn't, at the beginning of the residence, we didn't go south due to the fact it was gated. We were trying to find a way how to jump the fence.
Okay, so let me help you maybe with some photos. Let's see if those don't assist you. Or refresh your memory. Let me show you what's already been admitted in JJ defense. JJ. Let me verify, Judge. All right, it would be KK. Yes.
Clerk tells us that JJ.
And actually, I guess if I looked on this, I would know. KK, Your Honor, sorry. This has been marked. Is this not working?
Okay, he seems very knowledgeable and he seems like he seems like he'd be great at his job. And he has a lot to learn, I'm sure. I don't know. I don't do this as a profession, but he's a nice young man. And I I think he's holding up very well. And yeah, because when somebody's new, there's going to be some mistakes. We all have a learning curve, right? Me too. Exactly. And, he's new to the job, right? And I think he is handling himself very well, open, no vice. Yeah, vice. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that word for right now. Oh, sometimes ugh. Anyway, it comes across very, very earnest. Yes, he does. And he's learning. Can you just imagine being this young in your profession and you are on camera in a very high profile case? And yes, he is doing a wonderful job. And he's really, if he's nervous, he's not showing it. I'll be all red in the face. I want an open book. But anyway, yeah. Chili burgers do sound good. Young and handsome.
I'm showing you a collection of photos.
He'll go
that
far.
Was previously entered into evidence. This is a scene from, it's been determined that the house, as you exit the house, this is the patio on the property, okay? All right, there's, does this look familiar to you at all?
Yes, sure.
Is that confident?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this, looking out into this patio would be facing in the east direction. Are you disputing that?
I'm not disputing that.
Okay. And that would mean that south would be to the right of the photo. And if you go down far enough, you would see the vehicles. We could put that map on if you need it again. And the little roadway to where Mr. Kelly was found, the gates and all that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So if the gates, the roadway from the direction of Mr. Kelly or where you parked your vehicles initially is to the right, this would be a patio that would filter off of that and be heading into an east direction. Following me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said something about a ladder. Remember that?
Yes, correct.
Now, the ladder, I don't know if you recall or not, it's true, but it was,
If we're looking at the picture, it's gonna be to your left. If we're standing, if we took that picture.
okay. So let me point up here. So it'd be to the left of this picture.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Makes more sense. So now you could possibly see a little bit of a fence line out there. Let me see if I zoom, we'll see it on this, but not, we will see it on another photo.
I wish you
Brother,
could
just
see
a
what she's
correction for
talking
the
about.
record. This is not a state's photo. This is a defense
So
photo.
fence. Re-enter it.
And it was not taken by the state, just for clarification. That is not a state's photo. That's a defense photo.
Is there a question or objection?
No, I'm just clarifying the record.
Okay, can you see what appears to be out there, a little bit of a fence line?
Barely.
Okay, but we'll get another photo here in a minute, okay? And this fence line was barbed wire,
Yes.
and did you have to notice, because you mentioned another fence line out there that you did not have a ladder, you had to go.
I love
up.
banana
That
bread.
testimony?
Yes, correct.
Is that a smooth wire? Did
No.
you even notice?
That I remember, recall, no.
Okay. But you didn't get caught up in the bumper.
No.
So if the ladder is to the left, as you look at this wall and the trail of the picture, let's talk about what that looks like. So a barbed wire might come up to what? A chest, how high do you think the fence line is?
It will push you to the chest.
Somewhere here? Okay. And I'm illustrating across my chest about the fence, right?
Correct.
Now, the ladder, was it true that it literally had some, it was like one ladder going up on an angle to the top of the fence line, right? And the other one, I'm illustrating with my arms, I'm making almost an A coming down on the other side, right?
Correct.
So to get up and over that wasn't the easiest thing in the world, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, and you're young. How old are you?
25.
Okay, and so for you to get up there, you cautiously climbed it, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, but for someone that's elderly, it would be a major challenge to try to do that, wouldn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Oh gosh.
but it
What
was
it-
there
Easy
for
Talker, I'm getting hungry.
Did you know that he's owned this property for at least 10 years?
No, I did not.
Didn't know that? Okay. Now, if the ladder that helped you get over the first fence line assisted you, did you go off away from the home, or did y'all come back in this direction to the right, closer to the south, to fan out?
It was just right after, a little bit east-south. We didn't deviate a lot of south. We just saw the next fence and try to find an entrance.
And what I'm suggesting is you made it sound like you were the first one in the row and everyone followed to the left of you, correct?
Correct.
You didn't go like out of the area of the property where things didn't happen, did you? Or did you focus once you found the ladder, come back in this direction?
I was not the first person that located the ladder. That's why we followed everybody else towards the ladder.
I'm asking after you got out off the ladder, did y'all fan out in this direction?
We found out straight to the next entrance. We saw under the barbed wire.
No, I didn't start the search yet. I'm at the beginning. You got a bunch of officers there, and they're gonna spread out, right? And do this search, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so did you search inside this barbed wire area?
No, we didn't.
You never checked around to see if there's anyone there?
No, we didn't.
Okay, and then when you climbed over this ladder, did you go away from the house to search? Or did you come back now that you found a way to get over it and spread out in this direction that we see it in this photo?
I would have to, do not recall, I have to see the next fence where it is to see if it's this area.
Well, if you look far out from this direction, after you clear this full part of the pasture, you're gonna find a parallel fence.
That
And
would
we'll get
help
there, but that's
a lot.
out further, and the ravine is straight out. Does that help you at all?
Not exactly from
I
the location
agree.
where the ladder is.
Again, the ladder's to the left. Did you come back in front of the house and spread out in this general direction?
After we passed the second fence, we just started to spread out.
So you didn't even bother to search this area right here?
Not inside the property or between the two fences,
You did not search in between the two fences?
just a general view what we were able to see.
Okay, but you admitted that there is pretty tall grass out there, correct?
Correct.
And there's a lot. Is it?
Nope.
Okay, a search is a search, and you need to be thorough. You may not be looking in every hole, but you are doing a sweep, looking for anything that might be dangerous, like a person with guns, right?
Yes, correct.
And you're saying that once you cross the fence, you can see one of the posts here, can't you?
Correct, that was the first fence.
That is the first fence, correct. And down further back, using your imagination a little bit, there'll be another fence running parallel to this fence. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then past that, after you go a little ways, you'll eventually get to the ravine, the wash, the arroyo, whatever you want to call it, right?
Correct.
Okay. So my question is, are you saying you didn't bother to look in between these two fences?
Sorry, everyone.
Just a general.
Never,
view.
ever qualify for a
Okay, now
a
let's talk
technician
about the next set of fences.
audio
Now,
and stuff like videos. Just would not be my
You fanned out
tea,
there.
right?
After the second
That's
fence?
why I have.
Yes, sir.
That's correct. After the second fence, that's when I met up back with Deputy Cabrera, and Deputy Castaneda, and Sergeant Yuri Garcia. Did a widespread.
Just gonna go through my photos here. So some of the things that are on there.
Those camera people are not very good.
Smoker right there,
Look.
right?
His head's in the way. I can't see the property.
Nope.
Thank you. I
Where the
appreciate
ladder
saying
was,
that. Look,
there is a pump house also right there, wasn't there?
Yes,
Did you look around that?
move your head,
just around the pump house.
sir.
You looked around the pump house?
I passed through the pump house when I looked around it in it.
Sir, if you went to the ladder, you wouldn't walk all the way around all four sides of the pump house.
Correct.
Okay, so you didn't search this area either?
No.
Okay. So your job is to go looking for someone, and now you're in here testifying that you didn't really look? I'm kind of confused. Can you explain?
So by the time we got there, it was 20, 30 minutes. Once we went with Border Patrol, we were advised that Mr. Kelly had run south. So that's why we're looking more in the direction of south, you know, taking in consideration the time people had to run south. Mr. Kelly had taken off south. We were looking more down the road in the arroyo, nothing in the property or close to it.
I know, right? Lori, good point.
You were looking for what you call the security sweep of any threats that could be around this location for the protection of the Kellys, correct?
I love it. Now what's happening? Again? Oh, it's going to be one of these live streams where everything goes wrong. Just a minute. Let me see if I can get another one up. We love it, don't we? Yeah, we gotta love it. Oh, I think it's their end. Okay. Okay, everybody. It's not on my end. It's on their end. Yeah. FYI. I'm not doing this. See, I am not doing this. Holy moly. Seriously? Okay, go on to the other channels and they have the same problem. Yep. And here I thought it was me. Oh my gosh. My famous luck. Okay. Yeah. They are not doing a good job on this. They're making it really difficult for us live streamers. Yeah, they are. I'm gonna lose my little audience that I love so much. Don't leave me. Well, we'll just wait here and just keep an eye out. So far, my thoughts is that the young man is new at his job, and he does probably good, and he probably does a very good job doing what he does. And he's new, of course. There's going to be some ramifications of being new. There's going to be things that were not looked at, or this and that. So so it's the defense's job to point those things out and lay a foundation, which, I mean, okay, if I'm wrong, just correct me, because I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to law school, but yeah, I do have a degree in journalism and, observing things. So they're doing a good job of putting into the foundation for the jury to actually look at that and say, well, you know what, maybe they just didn't see this, or, I don't know. So that's my take on this witness right now. I mean, he's a great witness, and he is very knowledgeable, and he's a very, very clean-cut young man. He's handsome. He's confident. He's everything that you would want to be out in the fields of investigating crimes. Now, I really admire the defense is not bashing him or badgering him, or I'm really impressed by the fact that they are presenting this to the jury. But what I really truly would like to see more on the defense is some kind of presentation, is what CCW pointed out. I would like to see more of points, of a timeline of this whole event and how things happened. And I think that would be great if they could have that. Like a little chart, like the one that I made for the Adelsons. Remember? I put into the family tree, and I put who was who and the major players of this whole thing. That would be nice, even though there wasn't a ton of them, but it would be nice to know the facts of the case in a presentation form, because this is really not doing the job of it, but yeah, they're doing a good job in some things. Yeah. I'm probably going to end this screen now. Stream, I mean. And I really would like to thank everybody for coming on. And it is going to be dinner time, and we all have a life. I just thought I'd come in and do a live. Yeah, exactly. You make a good point here. I understand the defense and all, but from his testimony, we know there were multiple officers, yeah, and agencies there, and too much of did you instead of what was your job, or what was their job. And that is very true, CCW. We do hear attorneys ask the witness, what was your role in this crime scene? What did you do? Not did you look at the gun? I've been just making did you do this? Did you do that? No, you are so correct on that. Yes. Excellent, excellent point. Well, and I agree with you, Lori. Yes, he was accessory. He was stupid. He was led by his motions. I would say some other stuff, and I'm in public. But yes, he did. He did a lot of stuff. I think his mother is more guilty than he is, to be honest. Boy, that's going to be an interesting trial. Yeah, we'll follow it together if you guys like the Donna one. So He was the money man. He was the one who set it up. I think his mother was too, and this young gal who did the deed and got these two idiots to do this. Dumb and Dumber. No, nobody's gonna be nude in public. Cool. Not at this age, at least. But so I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought. So I think this is a good time just to stop and everybody's got to cook dinner and CCW's got to enjoy his banana bread, and I mean I need to do some things in my filthy sewing room that I'm in now, sewing /studio/office. Yeah, pants are pants are optional. Yeah. So anyway, we'll try to get back on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet, but we'll do it because of yummy banana bread. Yeah. I make excellent banana bread. You know what my secret is? I let the apples get really, really super ripe because my mom used to do it that way. And boy, she made really good banana bread. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to wrap this up. And yeah, I thank you very much for coming on, Lori and CCW and Wombop Mommy, and those of you who are just listening. Thank you for coming in. And please, please hit that like button because it really does warm my heart. And everybody have a wonderful evening. And anyway, until we meet again.